So I go back to my October shows, and I find around October 15th, um, me covering some of the Hunter Biden laptop information, the little that I can gather from just kind of cruising around the internet and all. Um, I just flat out shared it with you. And the irony about me saying the little that I can gather is that you can gather a lot if you just want to know the truth and what's going on with the whole Hunter Biden laptop, the whole Biden family, the mob family situation that they're in. And a lot of that information was gathered off of Hunter's laptop. And this is the laptop that was turned in um, by the the computer repair store owner. That was turned into the FBI. Now, he turned that into the FBI roughly 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, and if you were paying even a little bit of attention, or maybe if you don't want to hear about the Hunter Biden laptop situation, you would have heard if but long you don't want to hear about it, but you were paying attention. In other words, you do pay attention. You would have heard about it as early as October, which would have been what they call in the they call it an October surprise. That's what they call it in the political world. But the issue is that the laptop was turned into the FBI roughly 2 years ago. Roughly 2 years ago. Which meant that they were sitting on this laptop and sitting on this information for, again, 2 years before you heard it. Okay? And then October is when information started to leak out because the computer store owner, knowing how vital, how crucial, how dangerous a situation that not only is the American people, be it the taxpayer, what have you, the voter, what the danger that we were in, but the extreme danger that he was in, because he had to do some CYA, right? So he, of course, in case you didn't know, it's not illegal to copy a hard drive of a computer that was left in your shop and not claimed. So he had the laptop for a long period of time, kept trying to contact the person that dropped it off. We will assume it was Hunter Biden that dropped this off for repair. And the person that dropped it off did not claim it. So the property then becomes the property of the computer store owner. So then when he started checking out what was on the hard drive, he said, oh boy, this is ugly. Okay, so he made copies. And they are distributed to proper people. One of those, of course, the FBI, that did nothing. That did nothing about illegal activity in China, illegal activity in Ukraine, all dealings with Hunter Biden and the Biden family. All of this information on the laptop. So he gave it to the FBI, and he noticed that the FBI wasn't doing anything. He then decided, okay, this information is, as long as it's hidden, the longer it's hidden, I'm in danger. The more I'm in danger. So this thing had to get out. So who else to give it to than to the New York Post and Rudy Giuliani. Now he knows that this stuff is going to become public, and this takes some of the pressure off of him. Not all of the pressure, but some of the pressure off of him. Because again, if they keep this hidden and he comes up disappearing, because if you did pay attention, he's started coming out and talking about this thing and expressing his concerns for himself and, of course, for the country from what he found on this laptop. So, long story short, I don't want to get into all that because it's been more than 2 weeks since I've been able to do a program. But I go back to October 15th, and I want to tell you that a schmuck in his attic that loves candy bars and lasagna was able to share information that you needed, and not present it as an October surprise, because my concern was with how dangerous the Biden family is to the country, not whether or not Biden was going to win or lose. They have us in a very precarious situation, particularly with China. All right. So on October 15th, and I believe October 24th and 21st, what have you. But if you're able to go back to my archives on YouTube, and I believe some of it is on Rumble. I didn't get to Rumble until a little bit later. But anyway, if you're able to go back to my archives and listen to some of the stuff that I was reporting here on my silly little program with my cockamamie idea of being able to inform and help you guys find things out that you're not going to find out on your favorite news source, you're going to see vital information about Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and the laptop that is all of a sudden an interest on your favorite news source, right? They haven't been hitting it too hard lately because, again, it's been a little bit since I've been on the air, and I apologize. And I'll explain why I was off the air. But back in October, I'm doing what is on the laptop. And back in October, this is what your favorite local or big news favorite personalities were talking about.
I just want to deal in fact, because there is so much speculation out there, and there is zero evidence that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden did anything wrong here.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, I want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong. I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
I'll note again, because it's important.
There is no, I repeat, no.
There is no evidence that either Biden did anything illegal.
There's been no evidence. There was no evidence.
There's no evidence. There is no evidence.
There is not an iota of evidence.
No evidence Biden did anything wrong.
There's really
no evidence that Joe Biden
did anything wrong.
Nobody's ever accused there's no
evidence whatsoever that Joe
Biden did anything wrong.
Got that?
Joe Biden did nothing wrong.
Hunter Biden did nothing wrong.
That is absolutely fascinating. I knew that the big news sources, CBS, ABC, the Disney conglomerates, CNN, MSNBC, I knew all of those sources were protecting Biden and the campaign. That wasn't a secret or anything like that. The irony is that why do you have to like dig through the internet to find some schmo, some class of schmo, whether it be like the Hodge twins, Anomaly, Elijah Schaefer. Why do you have to find schmoes to tell you the truth? Right now, all of a sudden, at least they were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and they'll talk about it again. They don't want to. These big news sources, they don't want to, but you have to find some dink again, some fat guy in his attic, enjoying an energy drink, to tell you stuff that you need to know. This is absolutely insane. People were all gasp. How dare he? When Trump said that the American news media is the enemy of the people. They are the enemy of the people. You can't be this uninformed and expect good things to happen in this country. It is just absolutely disgusting. I don't want to spend the entire program back. By the way, Ada Jet Noise, thank you for having me back. I'm going to have to explain. I was dealing with some family issues. Some people know what those family issues are. It was my son. He was sick, and he was very, very sick, and I've got nothing but good news about the situation now. Currently, nothing but good news. So, for those of you that sort of knew or did know what was going on with our family, and were praying for us, thank you very much. I appreciate that. They absolutely worked. They absolutely worked. Your prayers, your well wishes, your good mojo, however it is that you want to send strength to someone. If you did that for us, it absolutely worked, and thank you. God bless you. I love you. So that sort of loosely explains right now why I was off the air for about 2.5 weeks, roughly. But again, Ada Jet Noise on Rumble, and Ada Jet Noise on YouTube, rumble.com. Rumble is taking a chance on me, and they're monetizing some of my stuff, so I feel really excited about that, and I'm hoping that I can make it interesting, funny, and informative. Continue doing that. Interesting, funny, and informative videos for you guys. And again, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the Hunter Biden thing because it's going to be it's the second wave, I'll call it, of Hunter Biden and Biden laptop and Biden family stories has already gone. That wave is gone. So I don't want to get too much into that, but it is frustrating, and that's my only point here. It is frustrating to see that you have to now turn to again, like to Anthony Brian Logan, and it's just schmucks on YouTube and on Rumble Dan Bongino. I should be more respectful to Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino is doing a great job, and God bless you, Dan, um, with your fight against that monster. You're doing a great job, and I'm hoping that everyone is praying for you, because I certainly am. So, but it is sad that you have to turn to the internet, and then now the internet is like trying to censor and conservative voices, libertarian voices, in these situations, because these situations are hurting the left. Again, my frustration is that you have to turn to us to get this sort of information. And so there'll be plenty of Biden stories, including the laptop and what the situation is that they put us in with China. China is already trying to own the world, and if you look at what they have done in Africa, here in the United States, it's hell, South America. If you look at what they have infiltrated around the world, you would think that they pretty much own the world already. You would. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt that they want to be the world leader. And it's not like world leader like when you said America, like, okay, well, we might be the most wealthy, we might be the most generous, our money is at the top. China wants to lead the world. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Let's get into some of this mess. Let's get into some of this mess. This one's loosey goosey, trying to get my feet back underneath me on this thing, and I'm hoping you guys are patient with me. And let's start off with 30 Democrats signed a letter to Mark Zuckerberg on the 15th that condemned hate and violence targeting Muslims on the platform. This one's a tough one. If you look, there was even during the Bush and the Obama thing, was there an actual Muslim hate? There were reservations. There were a lot of questions. I don't think there's a whole lot of Muslim hate. Doesn't mean there's not Muslim hate. Just where on Facebook are you getting the Muslim hate? The letter read, "We write to express our deep concern regarding anti-Muslim bigotry on your platform and the inaction of Facebook in response to the abuse of your platform to dehumanize Muslims and stoke violence and genocide against Muslims around the world." The letter goes on to say, "In many of these instances, pages, events, and other content are reported to Facebook, but sick. This is how they wrote it. SIC sick. But face delayed response times are ignored. The platform's slow reaction to these warnings underscores a pattern of the negligence in responding to our removing content that promotes violence against the vulnerable communities and has allowed anti-Muslim content to proliferate on Facebook in a dangerous manner." So again, I have to go back and ask all of you, where have you seen just like rampant anti-Muslim stuff? I can't believe I have to say this again. It doesn't mean that there's not anti-Muslim stuff. It's just that Facebook, why is Facebook getting this letter from these Democrats in these situations? They go on to give suggestions to Facebook, which judging by the situation is if there is a transfer of power next year, early next year, these will be more than suggestions for Facebook. Here's part of that list. Former working group compromise of senior staff focused on anti-Muslim bigotry issues and responsible for coordinating work within the company to address hate groups, tropes, bigoted content, and anti-discrimination. And then here's another suggestion: enforce your hate content and hate group policies in a way that ensures militias and white supremacists cannot use your event and group pages to terrorize targeted communities. Another one: committing to an independent third-party review of the company's role in enabling anti-Muslim violence, genocide, internment, and strive towards another one. Strive towards and commit to 100% proactive detection and removal of anti-Muslim content and all of form. This is interesting because again, this is 30 Democrats that sent this note to Facebook and these suggestions to Facebook, and I don't think that this is an anti-Muslim thing. As to why this letter came up, what I think is happening here is Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. All right, I believe that when those two are criticized, are criticized, they are they're criticized. Ilhan Omar is covered in boils of crime. Her husband is making so much money off of that campaign. They are skimming. They are shoveling. Let's say skim money off the top of her campaign. They are shoveling money into his account from her campaigning and her fundraising and stuff like that. So she's just becoming rich, absolutely rich off of illegal activity. But it can't be illegal activity if nobody's willing to do anything about it, right? So, but it is what is going on. That's just that. And just if you follow her history, even how she got here, it's not even clear that Omar is her last name. It's not even clear that that's true. Her family split. Is it Ethiopia? They came here from the east, and that the family, including her father, split into like two groups. So they're just kind of like hovering around throughout the world. God knows what the other ones are doing, but they're like an infestation. And Elon, as far as we know, is the most powerful. Ilhan Omar is the most powerful only because she has a United States government position. Got a high stakes United States government position. So I think what is happening with that letter is that when you tell the truth about Ilhan Omar specifically and Rashida Tlaib, because Rashida Tlaib has said before that she believes Sharia law should come to the United States. She thinks it's an important it would be an important move. So when these people, when you shine a light on these people, they are in danger of being exposed. And I think that's what they're going for. I don't think it's an anti-Muslim thing. I think this is a way to take groups like the Proud Boys, um, the Blaze Radio Network, situations like that. That when you are able to expose those type people, like the CAIR organization, CAIR, CAIR, which Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are advocates, if not members, of the CAIR organization, CAIR. When you expose those people, those certain situations, you are putting pressure on them to continue hiding their agenda, and they're done hiding their agenda. They are going to. They are more than happy to share with you exactly what they are all about, and what they're getting rid of the American way is the agenda. It's Marxism, socialism, all the way. It's time, like Michelle Obama said, to change our traditions. Change our ways, change our way of thinking, change our education. That was Michelle Obama telling you that if you're going to be a socialist, which she didn't use, but if you're going to change America, you've got to change your way of thinking. And that is where Rashida Tlaib, Presley, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, that is where these people are going. And if you make anti-Muslim things illegal, or at least make people that criticize those particular situations or those particular people, if you make them uncomfortable, they're protected under that umbrella. Enough of that nonsense. Let's get back to the First Amendment. Let's have a happy America. Let's go to this bad boy. I'm going to give you a few things on a list that that I find incredibly interesting. It's a list of dollars that will be spent, and where they will be spent. $198,323,000 to Bangladesh, including $23.5 million to support Burmese refugees and $23.3 million for democracy programs. Pakistan, $15 million for democracy programs and $10 million for gender programs. $10 million for gender programs in Pakistan. Sri Lanka, up to $15 million for refurbishing of a high-endurance cutter. A high-endurance cutter is a patrol boat. $15 million for a patrol boat in Sri Lanka. $505,925,000 to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, to address key factors that contribute to the migration of accompanied undocumented minors to the United States. Now, I'm going to read that one again. 500, not 5 million, 505 million. $505,925,000 to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, to address key factors that contribute to the migration of unaccompanied, undocumented minors to the United States. If you do not remember, during the Obama administration, there were planes that were coming out of South America that were prepaid for. There were planes coming out of South America that were prepaid for. The seats were prepaid. They were going down to South America and flying back to the United States. Those planes were bringing undocumented minors to the United States. Yeah. So that, of course, did not happen in the last 4 years. Nothing like that was going to happen in the last 4 years. When these people came on foot, tried to come to the United States on foot, walking hundreds, whether thousands, getting on trucks, getting on buses, getting on trains, to cross through Mexico to get to the border of the United States. When all those people in those places, again, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, all those people that were coming here had to come on foot and were met at the border and were met with a wall, if you will, metaphorically, and in some cases physically, because the wall that was stretched a little bit longer during the last 4 years. But what was happening during the 8 years prior to the last 4 years? Notice I'm not trying to say Trump or Obama. What was happening during the prior administration was those people, particularly minors, were being shipped into the United States. And 505, almost $506 million are being promised to contribute to address the key factors to contribute to the migration of unaccompanied, undocumented minors to the United States. All that means is we are going to go get undocumented minors from South America and bring them here and just flood the system. That means, notice how I said we, because I'm going to post this list on A to Jet Noise on Facebook and on Parler and MeWe. I'm going to post this list because the list is long enough in itself. I did post the document that it came from. This is a proposal from the Democrats, from Nancy Pelosi, that our taxpayer dollars are going to put hundreds of millions, or did I say hundreds of millions? I meant billions. Billions of dollars into taking care of sources that have nothing to do with the United States. We're a cutter, a patrol boat for Sri Lanka. All right? Protecting gender and gender programs for Pakistan. We are going to take United States taxpayer dollars and we are going to give it to Pakistan so they can do some sort of cross-dress moment. Bring some sort of cross-dress movement into their country for transgender programming. What are we doing? United States taxpayer dollars are going to go into $33 million for democracy programs for Venezuela. Venezuela. We are in a virtual war with Venezuela, right? We don't trust what is going on in Venezuela, and quite frankly, Venezuela could have very well infiltrated the United States elections this time around. So we are actually in virtual war, and they've said, their leadership has said that they want to see the United States fall. It's nothing new. But we're going to give something like $33 million for democracy. They are in the worst situation. They are the most socialist country right now. Their situation makes China look like the United States. And we're going to give $33 million to that. Now, granted, this hasn't happened, but all it's going to take is for one of the Republicans to lose in the Georgia race. And quite frankly, I don't see how both of them can win. I don't see how the Georgia runoff in January, I don't see how both of them can win. I don't see either one of them winning. But if we win one, if the libertarians, conservatives, Republicans, whatever it is that you want to call them, if either one of those Republicans lose, we are in a tie. The conservatives in the Senate will be in a tie. And you have to depend on somebody like Mitt Romney to be on your side, or Susan Collins to be on your side. And even if it does break even, Democrats vote one way for something and Republicans vote the other way for something, and it breaks even, the deciding vote would be the vice president. And we know we're not going to get anything pro-America out of Kamala Harris, which would be the vice president, if she's not the president by then. Because we're not going to have Joe Biden too long, for goodness sake. He broke his foot playing with his dog. Really? That's not what happened. But if the only thing standing between us is two Republican candidates down in Georgia, and neither one of them are great Republican candidates, but they could rubber stamp. They could kind of hold things at bay. But I don't see how both of them can win. It's just not in the cards for them to win. Especially after what happened during this particular presidential election, I don't see how Georgia how we're going to get any Republican senators, those Republican senators in this runoff into the Senate. I could be wrong. I doubt it, but I could be wrong. But this is those dollars. Again, I'm going to post this list because I don't think you want to read the entire document, because the entire document is 5,593 pages long. So I'm going to post this list on A to Jet Noise on Facebook and on Parler and on MeWe, and you will see the ridiculous amounts of money that we want to give away as a country, because I'm just willing, as soon as we get a nice socialist presidency in the United States White House, I am just dying to give away our tax dollars to not take care of us here in this country. I'm just who's not ready for that? It's this. I'm gonna end this one again. This is just me trying to get my feet back underneath me. Thank you again for tuning in and listening. And I promise, I absolutely promise, I'm going to spend a little time and give you an update as to why I was gone, an update on my son and on my family. And again, at this point, I have nothing but good news. Thanks again for the prayers. But I'm going to end it with this. This is Dolly Parton's little sister, Stella Parton, who is just as adorable as her sister, but probably we're going to call her the feisty one, from the out of the two. Stella Parton went viral with this tweet, which is says everything we need to know about our country. If on December 18th, she wrote, if a little hillbilly singer like my sister, like my big sister, Dolly, can invest in the vaccine, then why the hell can't some of you old moldy politicians pitch in a few million yourselves, a few million yourselves? I noticed that you started getting vaccinated right away while people are starving and dying, you a-holes. So basically what Stella is saying is Dolly, which she did, she gave a handful of money, I think it was $1 million, into one of the vaccines. I think it was the Moderna vaccine. Don't hold me on that one right there. But she did give it to either the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. As soon as she found out that they were like right at the breaking point of being able to introduce this thing to the world. And so Dolly immediately was just like, oh, well, I'm going to give some of my money, because that's just who Dolly is. She is a superhero. If there's anybody that's a superhero, if we have Justice League or an Avengers, whichever comic book you fall, what side you fall on, if someone deserves to be a part of that superhero team, it should be Dolly Parton. She is a wonderful lady. So she gave this money to, let's get this vaccine out there and let's save lives. All right. A little hillbilly singer like her sister, like Stella called her big sister Dolly. If she can do that, why is it that Cuomo, Pelosi, Schumer, you name it, the Bushes, the Obamas, the Clintons, why is it that these people could not make a similar investments? Where was all these people all these celebrities that were getting on your freaking TikToks and stuff like that and telling you to stay home, wear a mask, don't do anything? Where was their investment? What are these politicians? What are these celebrities? What are they doing? What are they doing? Other than telling us, you stay home, we'll continue working. You stay home. I'm staying home, right? They were telling you I'm staying home in their lavish, massive marble homes, their homes on a hill. They've got everything. They weren't really staying home, But if they did, they had all the amenities, right? So if Dolly can do it, where were all these people? And that's basically what Stella's saying. I'm adding to it, but basically what Stella's saying is, you guys are all a-holes because you scared us all to death. But you can say, oh well, they put all this money into no, they didn't. If any money that was put into that was a decision by the White House, and it was your taxpayer dollars. All right, so it didn't come out of anybody's pocket that's in government or anything like that. It came out of your taxpayer dollars. So don't go there. Please do not go there. Lastly, before I go, I want to talk about a quick bite on Dr. Birx. Dr. Birx, I didn't think she was a fan of Donald Trump, but she seemed reasonable. She seemed like she actually cared. She to me, Dr. Deborah Birx seemed like she cared more than Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci seemed like he had a lot invested in mask wearing, social distancing, the whole mitigation thing. It seemed like he had more invested, like some shady dealings. When he spoke, because he would speak out of both sides of his face. So there was a lot of ugliness when it comes to Dr. Fauci and his decisions with how we handle the coronavirus. Dr. Birx always seemed to me like that. I didn't see she was going to make all the great decisions, or that she was making. When she spoke to me, I always thought she was making decisions on saving lives. And I could knock her for that. I couldn't agree with her, but she always seemed like she wanted to save lives. And back just before Thanksgiving, when everyone else was telling you, don't be with your family, stay home. The best way to show your family how much you love them is if you don't go to Thanksgiving and spend time with them. So she got on. She was even wearing a mask when she did this interview, telling people, don't be with your family, don't travel anywhere, stay home, wear your mask, social distancing. She went on and on and on in this interview. And then on that Thanksgiving, she flew from one state to another to be with her family during Thanksgiving. I call some serious bull. And I'm trying not to swear on my program, so I'm just going to leave it with the word bull. Trust no one. Trust yourself in these situations. Stop listening to these people. Just stop listening to them. Yeah, take the suggestions from the CDC. These suggestions, if mask probably means something, and the mitigation definitely means something. But right now, trust no one. If you feel that you're strong enough to take this vaccine, go ahead and take the vaccine. If you do not, avoid it at all costs. All right? Because these situations are these situations, these decisions are ours to make. And we have to start realizing that. Because right now, they are treating us incredibly awful. Because they can. And they can because we're letting them. So, more energy on the next program. And soon, after Christmas, I'm hoping to be able to go live. I'd like to go live every single show, and that would start early next year. But sometime after Christmas, and I'll give you an exact date, I'm going to go live, and you guys can ask me questions as to what is going on with my son and my family, and as to why I was gone. And I will be glad to give you updates. So until then, thank you for joining Ada Jet Noise. Thanks to all my followers, subscribers. Ada Jet Noise on Facebook. Ada Jet Noise on Rumble. Ada Jet Noise on YouTube. ADA Jet Noise, just like it says on the hat. ADA Jet Noise. MeWe, Parlor. Please look me up, subscribe, follow. Thank you. Till then, big hug. Be good. Be still. Enjoy your life. I didn't want to ramble too much longer.